everyone, this is Kimberly from Kimberly's Fabric Stash. It is 3 o'clock Eastern Time here in just north of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and we're ready for Fabric Bundle Friday. This is my weekly review of products, new things that have come out, techniques I want to share with you, new fabrics, and every Friday at this time we go over all those kinds of great things that the quilt world is bringing us. For those of you that have not joined me before, my name is Kimberly Chafee. I run Kimberly's Fabric Stash, which is an online fabric quilting site. You can always find me by clicking on that shop button at the top of my page, and it will take you right over to my website. Each week we try and send out a newsletter, and in that newsletter is a review of, like I just was saying now, new products, new notions, new fabrics, and all the things that are going on in our quilting world. I'd like to say hello now to Jeannie Dickey and Sherry Wonderling. Thanks for watching today. Hopefully you guys can hear me. You'll notice this is a different format from last week. We're out in the shop today because I want to go over a couple of demos for you so that you are in the know on new products. If you are new to us, again, like I said, if you click on that shop button at the top, you can go over to my website, sign up for our weekly newsletter at the bottom of our page. We also are all on YouTube, so we do upload our videos to YouTube. And usually those are our technique videos, and then of course we blog out, you know, whatever's going on in the quilting community. I will say, very excited this week. We got a letter from Moda, and Moda has been around since the 1970s, and the owner of Moda is named Mark Dunn. Mr. Dunn sent us a letter this week explaining how the quilting industry is seeing an uptick in new quilters, and the whole mask making extravaganza that's been going on for several months has now got people excited to sew again. So that is fantastic. I know that we got a catalog from Moda. We got great new lines that are going to come in January, February, March. For those of you that like Jo Morton, we have a line coming in from her. And off the top of my head, I can't remember the other two, but we'll preview all that as we get into the fall. So let's get started for today. And again, we're out in the studio today, so a little different format than normal. So just, you know, I'm going to be moving the camera around a little bit. And the fabrics that you're seeing in front of you, we are selling today. And we're going to discuss those as well. So if you're interested, get a pencil and paper, be ready to comment. And basically, we just do a comment below with your email and what you would like, and then we just send you a PayPal invoice at the end, or we will call you, whatever your preference is. So that's kind of how we do things as well. So this week I wanted to share with you a little technique that many of you might not realize because you are traditional quilters. You've been quilting for years, and we're going to kind of just angle this down right now. And basically, I'm going to move this back. So what you're looking at is just a piece of a solid fabric right now. This isn't anything special, but it's what I'm using today to go over my 505. So basically, this is called 505 temporary adhesive. And some of you are a little leery of using glue with your quilts, and I understand why, because back in the day, glue ate fabrics after so many years. And we want to make sure that whenever we're doing anything with our fabric, because our fabric is not cheap, we want to make sure that whatever product we're using, that is going to not harm our fabric, gum up our needles, it's acid free, doesn't stain, and gluing something can be very, very intimidating. And for those of you that maybe have never glued and you've always pin basted your quilt sandwiches together, I'm going to kind of give you a brief demo on how easy it is, number one, why we like 505, number two, and basically how you can eliminate a whole lot of time when you are free motion quilting or stitching in the ditch or walking foot quilting, whatever you're doing. Now, long armers typically will layer their quilt sandwiches a lot differently. So this is more for those that are doing maybe smaller projects on a home machine, like table runners, placemats, those kinds of smaller kind of like little wall hangings, those kinds of things. So this is a demo on a very small piece of fabric I have. And I have to kind of back up for just a second because I forgot to lay down. This is my cutting table, and I'm going to scooch this for just a second. I cut like all day, every day out here, and I forgot to get a piece of plastic. So right before we went live today, it was really exciting around here. The Amazon lady showed up to deliver a package, and she couldn't find the number, so the dogs... my dog was going crazy, and so in the background, you would have heard, if you would have showed up like 10 minutes ago, all this barking going on. So I forgot to get the plastic from my table, but here it is. So we're going to use just some paper towels. So basically what you're looking at is this is the batting, okay, and this is the 505, and of course I've covered up for overspray purposes my cutting table because I really don't want to be out here tomorrow cutting all this fabric and having it stick to my table. So basically what I've always tried to share with people, and this is on a very small scale, okay, understand that if you were on a 30 by 30 wall hanging, this would be on a larger scale, you'd probably be at a kitchen table or maybe on the floor, okay? And even on the floor, you want to put down like plastic or something because 505 is sticky. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, it is glue. But we like it because it's gonna take and eliminate the amount of time that I'm gonna end up taking pins out of my quilt sandwich when I'm long arm quilting, or not long arm, but like, well, free motion quilting or however. So, so here's what we're getting ready to do. So this is my quilt batting, and I always try and tell people, don't spray your fabric, spray your quilt batting because it's a lot more forgiving. So I'm going to take my 505 and I'm going to very lightly. Now, we're not spray painting, you know, outdoor furniture here. This is not a metal application. It's just fabric. So we don't need a whole lot. This is a large can. This is a 12-ounce can. And basically all I'm going to do is lightly spray this down, and typically this would be where I would apply the backing of my quilt, okay? So the backing is typically pretty easy, so I'm just going to sit there and lay that down, and then as you see, I'm going to smooth all that out, all right? So I start in the center, I just smooth all that out, okay? And let's say I missed a corner or whatever, I could go back and I could spray that corner, but for right now, I'm going to do that. Now, I'm going to let that sit there for just a second, kind of let it tack up. Now, again, because this is on a small scale, you know, you don't really have like the full like experience of a larger quilt. But now I'm going to sit there, and if this was my quilt top, okay, I would fold that back. Okay, I would spray that very lightly, very, very lightly. A little goes a long way. Okay, and I would smooth that all out. Okay. Because again, we're pretending that this is a huge like 30 by 30 piece of fabric right now. I would never just spray the whole back down, that whole piece, and then just kind of flump this whole piece down. I would never do that with a bigger piece of fabric. And then I would roll that back, and I would spray this side, okay, very lightly. Let that tack up a little bit, and then I would smooth that out. All right, so now at this point, my back, my batting, and my front are all attached. I can pick it up. Okay, notice it's not falling off the batting. Okay, it's kind of like doing the blizzard test at the Dairy Queen where they like flip the blizzard to show you that it's not gonna like whatever, it's thick and like the spoon didn't fall out or whatever. This is good. This is together now. Now I can easily take this over to my sewing machine and use my walking foot. I can use my free motion foot, and I'm going to be able to go ahead and stitch that. And the 505, and it says on here that it is, these are important parts here, no stain, acid free, and then for the people that are concerned about the environment, no CFCs. So this does fall under all sorts of regulations even in California. So this is the 505 by Odif. It does ship ground. It is not cheap to ship it. It is like $8 to ship this to somebody because it can only go ground. It can't go up in an airplane. So that is our first thing I wanted to share with you today, is a demo on the 505. So if you are one that uses spray adhesives to make your quilt sandwiches, go ahead and give me a thumbs up or heart. That way I know that you guys are actually like doing some of these things, or maybe this is your first time, give me a thumbs up. But you know, this is one of the things that you can do. And again, you want a product that isn't going to gum up your needle. So don't go to like wherever some craft store and just buy something that's not meant for quilting, like a regular spray glue. It has to say it's for fabric, but you also have to be very, very careful that it's not going to stain your fabric. And that's why we like the 505, because it clearly says it's not going to stain. You can see I just sprayed this and there's no stains coming through, which is why I used a solid piece of fabric so that you can see that there's nothing on this piece of fabric that's coming up from that glue. So, all right, we're going to take a quick second and say hello to Darlene and Pam and Bonnie. Thanks for joining me this afternoon. I appreciate that. And Tracy, hello. Would you use 505 on a queen size quilt? Absolutely. I've done it. You might have to lay it out on like the floor in order to do something like that. But you would do that method what I just showed when I did the top, where you would flip back a side, spray it, smooth that down, then flip back the other side, spray that, and then flip that back down. So that's how you would do the top and bottom on a queen size quilt, Tracy. Great question. Thank you for asking. Absolutely. So we're going to move on now to the next thing I want to share with you, and that is we've talked last week briefly because Sherry actually won the mini Stripology ruler from us, and I wanted to share with you one way of using the Stripology ruler that there's several different things that you can do with it, but I want to show you one thing you can do with the mini Stripology ruler. Hopefully next week I can share with you another process to this ruler. But basically what this is let me get this kind of together for you here. So this is the new Creative Grids, sorry about hitting the camera, Stripology ruler from GE Designs or Gundry Eldar and Creative Grids. Okay, so this is the ruler. It is, how big is this? 12 by 8. All right. And what I'm going to share with you today is how this is a great tool to use when you have to cut strips. Now, you might be like, Kim, I cut strips all day long with my 6.5 by 24, and I'm great at cutting strips, and that's great, and I'm happy for you. I am trying as I get older to be even more precise in my quilting. It's like a constant thing that I'm always trying to improve my cutting, because cutting is where everything starts. I mean, yeah, you can have great fabric and you have all the right tools, but if you aren't going to cut this correctly, then you're once you get to the sewing machine, you're kind of already behind the curve, right? So what we're always trying to do is make sure that we have the best possible techniques and tools to make sure that our cuts are 100%. Now, a lot of pattern designers, and I'm not talking about these big block quilts that you see online. I'm talking about like actual, you have to cut, 1 3/8 or, 2 5/8, and you need to cut strips and squares and all those kinds of things. Those get tedious on a big 6.5 by 24 regular ruler with a rotary cutter. So one of the things that I want to share with you is the fact that this mini Stripology ruler is perfect for doing smaller incremental strips. Now, here's the thing I want to share with you. I'm going to try and hold this up a little bit. This is, for those of you that aren't familiar, basically what this is this has slits in it. Okay, I'm going to give you a close up here. These are slits right here that my rotary blade, okay, regular 45 millimeter, if I could talk today, will fit in those slits, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and put my fabric down, and I'm going to share with you just cutting 2 different sizes of strips. Now, the cool thing about Gudrun, the lady that designed this ruler, is on her website, and I will link to this after today's video. This is one of her charts that she has to share with you how to cut different size strips so that they're absolutely accurate. The ruler itself is very intimidating looking. I will not lie to you. I got this and I'm like, okay. There's a lot you can do with the ruler, so there's a lot of markings on it, and if you don't understand what you're looking at, you might get it and you're like, oh, this looks way too intense. I don't know how I'm going to ever do this. That's why we do these videos. That's why we're sharing with you how to do this, so that you know that this is something that is easily accomplished. It's not rocket science, and I have full faith and confidence that you are going to be able to use this ruler if you decide that you want to start with a, get really precise with your quilting. Okay. Now, I am all about too. Other rulers that sit there and will square things up for you and all that. We're not squaring things up today. We're just doing strips, okay? So basically what I'm going to do is I've taken a fat quarter. I have folded it in half, okay? I kind of did that off screen, but I'll go back. So I have my fat quarter. This isn't lined up yet because my fabric is not square. I'm going to square this up before I start, all right? I'm going to scooch this down for you. And then at this point, I'm going to take the fold of the fabric and match it there. And I'm just going to take, and now typically what you want to make sure of is that you start with a straight cut. So I've lined up the bottom of my fabric here, and I'm going to scooch this up just a little bit more so that you guys can see, and hopefully I don't knock over everything. And I'm just going to use the edge of this ruler just to square up, just to start our process. And I'm going to scooch this light so that you guys can still see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that, right? Oh, you got to love a gold rotary blade. I just changed this blade on Monday. It's already like done. I have cut so much fabric this week. People are going crazy with all this fabric right now. So basically what I want to do is I'm going to cut a 2.5 inch strip with this ruler, okay? Now the thing with the Creative Grids is it has this wonderful kind of, it's not sticky, it's like a mesh on the back to keep this from moving along. So basically what happens now is I'm going to line this up, and she tells us in the directions to start on the 1/4 inch side. So there's a 1/4 inch side, and you flip it, and there's a 1/8 inch side. How amazing is that, right? Especially if you have to do 8 inch cuts. So I'm going to line this up, and the first thing it says to do on the directions I'm following is to start at the 1/4 inch side, and oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading that wrong. 1/2 inch side. I'm going to lay this on 0. I'm going to line that up. And it wants me to make the first cut at 4.5 inches. So I'm going to line up the bottom of the ruler with the black line here, all right? And I'm going to try and angle this down just a hair so you guys can see a little bit better, all right? And we're going to make our first cut on the 1/2 inch side using that lined up. Okay, now I'm going to turn the ruler to the 1/4 inch side, and I'm going to line this back up. And what you don't see, but you might be able to see, is this dotted line here says 1/4 inch. That is the line I'm going to put on the very edge. I'm going to set that there. And now I'm going to make a cut at 2.25 inches, which is on the ruler, just like that. And right now I have now made perfect 2.25 inch strips just by those 2 cuts. The ruler didn't move. I know they're perfect. And I'm on my way to making now 2.5 or 2.25 inch squares. All I have to do is turn that around, lay those strips out, which I can do for you. So I'm going to lay the strips back out, and I'm going to just repeat the same method. Now, I am not great about stacking things because it tends to move on me. So I'm just going to lay them here. I'm going to square up this edge. All right, just because I moved everything, and I want to make sure I always start with a squared up edge. Okay. And then again, I'm going to start with my 1/4 inch or my 1/2 inch side, which is this one. Okay, it says 1.5 inch cuts. And I'm going to make that cut at 4.5. And then I'm going to turn my ruler around, and I'm going to make my other cut at 2.25. So I'm just following her chart. All right, now if I was going to be cutting a bunch more squares, there. Now I have these perfect 2.25 inch squares off of a smaller ruler, and the ruler is designed for smaller cuts. We're not cutting 44 inch lengths of material here. We're cutting smaller cuts like fat quarter size, and we'll get into like 5 inch charm squares and all those kinds of other cuts. The other one I want to share with you, okay, we're going to go back to our same piece of fabric here. And now I'm going to do a 2 7/8 inch cut. That is a cut that is always tricky because if you're on any length of a ruler, it's going to move. And I don't know how many times I've gone to cut something that's 7/8 or 5/8, and it just never seems to come out just right. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the 1/4 inch side, and I'm going to make my first cut at 5. Where'd my rotary? Okay, 5 3/4. So here's my first cut. I'm going to make that. And again, we're going to make 2 7/8 inch strips here. I'm going to turn the ruler to my 1/2 inch side now, and I'm going to lay that down, and I'm going to cut it at 2.5 inch. So I'm going to make this at a 2.5 inch strip. Oh, and the directions tell me to line it up on the 3/8 inch line. So there's a little line right here. So before I do that, I'm going to line that up there. Then I'm going to make the cut at 2.5 inches. Okay. And now at this point, I have perfect 2 7/8 inch strips. So the ruler didn't move. I'm not wondering, did I get that exactly right through and through? I know I did. It's absolute precision. And the chart really, really helps you cut all sizes of strips. Right here is all the different strip sizes that this ruler will help you cut. And that's just cutting strips. We're not even talking about squaring things up and all those other things that this ruler is capable of. We'll discuss that, like I said, in another video. So I wanted to share with you today the mini Stripology ruler. Now, they do retail for $39.99. We ship them for free to help save that cost. And then if you want to make sure that you, like, if you want to give that to a new quilter, I think that would make an amazing gift for Christmas. Or if you have somebody that has a lot of struggle with just getting things like straight up all the time, then that is one of those things that you might want to take and invest in. So again, it's $39.99, but we're doing free shipping on that. So if you're interested, you can pop over to my website. You can order that way, or you can order, just comment below, say, Kimberly, I would like one of those mini Stripology rulers, and I'll go ahead and PayPal you. So that's one of the easiest ways to order that ruler. So the other thing I want to share with you this week is, let me find my list here. Okay, so you're seeing all the fabrics that, these are fall themed fabrics that we have in stock. They are going for normally $8 a yard. For this video, I'm doing $6.95 a yard. We're doing whole yard increments, okay? So I just want to share with you, if you are interested in doing this or getting any of these fabrics that you see, basically you're going to just comment below, Kim, I like the bats. I need a yard of the bats. So they're $6.95. Shipping's going to be a flat $5. So if you order 2 yards or 10 yards, we're doing a flat $5 shipping. So those are the skeletons that we're sharing. This is candy corn. Now this candy corn is kind of big. Just for reference, here's my rotary blade. So you can see those are big candy corns, okay? So those are great new fabrics that we have that have come in stock. And these are Springs Creative and Wilmington Prints. I love this stripe. This is an amazing stripe. Think 60-degree table runner. How cool would that be for a 60-degree table runner, or even along the border of a quilt? Think placemats, backing. That's a great fabric from Wilmington. One of the things that you can also do is we're showing this stripe here. This is a Be Thankful stripe. This is by Wilmington. Beautiful print. Another great print for the 60-degree table runner, or you can use it for quilt borders. Now, one suggestion I have for doing something like that, let's bring this back up for just a second, is we sell done woven tea towels, okay? And typically what we'll do is show that people can take a strip of fabric and adhere it to, stitch it down to a done woven tea towel, and then maybe add like a decorative thing here at the top. That's something that, you know, if you have a machine embroidery or if you do hand embroidery, these types of stripes, keep that in mind. They're great for those types of towels. So if you're trying to do a gift, maybe a hostess gift this fall, or one of those kinds of things, that would be a great gift to give. So take a done woven tea towel, get a stripe, and then put that stripe along the bottom and make a gorgeous gift. So that's one thing that you can do, and that's one of our gift ideas for this fall is we did talk about towels and another thing for fall, but we never talked about towels with stripes. So if you have something like that, again, this one has a deer print, and that's a beautiful print. This is a beautiful stripe, but you could actually use this border here. You can make a very nice gift just by using that. Would make it another great 60-degree table runner. Man quilt. Okay, you see that deer, and I'm telling you, guys like seeing it. Heck, you could make an apron. How cute would that be in an apron, right? So just an idea. This one was super popular this week. I sold a lot of this week. I think people are using it for the backing on table runners. I'm not quite sure, but this is turkey hands, and it's silly and it's hilarious, but yeah, you could use this as a casserole covers if you're taking and you want to make a gift for somebody. So I thought that's a cute fabric. So if you're interested in the turkey hands, we probably have 4 or 5 yards left on that. It kind of like flew out the door this week. We had like this massive run on turkey hands. So, you know, it's just one of those things. If you are interested in the Dunwoven I can't talk today. Tea towels, okay? They do measure, let's take a quick measurement here of these tea towels while we're getting the other one around here. They measure 20 by 28. They are a large towel. They're on my website. So if you click on the shop button at the top and type in Dunwoven, that's the brand name, you can see then that those towels are up on the website. So the last 2 fabrics we were showing just now is the Autumn Leaves, which is a beautiful print. Again, you can use this for anything, pillows, anything home decor this week. And then the So Spooky, it's the Gray Words. Again, this was a great backing that they had from Wilmington. So lots of ideas there. So these are $6.95 a yard. $5 flat shipping for this Friday. So if you're interested in the fabrics, go ahead and just comment below. You know, Kimberly, I want, 2 yards of this, 3 yards of this. Those local to me can pick up. Okay, so if you're local to me, you guys can always stop over and pick up and not worry about a shipping charge. Okay, because that wouldn't make any sense, right? Right. Okay. So, 2 things. Last week we gave away, we had for our giveaway this wonderful, beautiful book by Bonnie Sullivan called All for Fall. And for those of you that are not familiar with Bonnie Sullivan, she is the lady that does beautiful flannel and wool work. And let me just page through. Look how cute that is. It's a little cell phone pouch. She has lots of timely projects for this time of year in this book. How sweet is that? Great book. And this is my last copy I have right now, but if you're interested, let me know. We can always order you a copy. So this is All for Fall. And what we were giving away was that with this beautiful woolly charm pack from In the Patch design. This is similar to this wool patches that go out with our block of the month, our Simply Chic block of the month. And basically that was our giveaway. And I'm happy to announce that Juliet Coach won our giveaway from last week. And how did she do that? Well, it's quite simple. Basically, all Juliet had to do was share our video with her friends and then comment on something she loved. So we are very excited for Juliet, and I think she'll really like getting this book and this charm pack in the mail. And then for this week, for our giveaway, we are giving away a set of the 2021 calendars. I demoed them a couple weeks ago. This is the In the Patch 2021 calendar and the By the Yard calendar. How cool is that? That you're going to be all set to go for next year with these great calendars. You don't have to go out and buy a calendar. We're going to send them to you. So if you're not familiar, the 2021 In That Patchwork Place quilt calendar comes with a 20-page booklet, and it shows how to make, gives you instructions for all the quilts through the whole year, which is quite an undertaking because they're not simple throw together quilts. These are quilts that are like going to take a little time. But so we're going to give away a set of these calendars for you because you guys are amazing and awesome. And all you have to do is just share today's video, comment on something that you liked seeing, and that would enter your chance to win our giveaway. And again, if you are not familiar with our shop, we've been around for over 10 years. We were brick and mortar for several years, and now we're online. We do local pickup, and then we send out a weekly newsletter and do YouTube, and then of course here on Facebook. So we just love that you join us on Friday afternoons. And if you guys have any suggestions or ideas on something you would like to see us demo, definitely comment or email me at pitsewing@gmail.com so I can include it in a video. Now, at the end of our videos, I usually give us a few minutes for you guys to ask me questions or comment on something that you've been working on yourselves. There's a glare here, so I'm going to scooch that. It's still glaring. There, that's better. We'll just do that with the, okay. So basically, this is a time if you want to comment. I'd love to hear what, some of your ideas or things that you've been working on. Last week we had a a discussion about joining Pam's Guild, which was really cute. And hopefully those of you that are in the area can join Pam's Guild. It's up in Jacora, Pennsylvania, which is not far from here. But if, like I said, if you have a question or you want to comment on something, now's the time to ask away. So we'll just kind of pause for just a second, let you collect your thoughts, and then we'll wait to see if we have any comments or questions. Okay, we're kind of just waiting. Okay, it looks like we're good. I must have done a really good job on that demo. So, okay, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying I must have done a pretty good job on explaining everything. So that's a good thing. It looks like you guys are pretty happy. Hopefully you all are healthy and staying away from all sorts of bad, horrible diseases that are running around. And I hope you guys are getting excited for fall. I know I am. We already have leaves coming down here in Western Pennsylvania. So let the quilting games begin, right? So as long as the weather kind of does cool things, it's going to be a nice fall, I think. And then we're definitely going to be, getting back into our sewing rooms. So this is a good time to kind of collect what we're doing. And I think we're going to talk next week about getting our fall holidays mapped out a little better so that we kind of make our goals, and that way we're not scrambling at the last minute. So, all right, so I'm going to let you guys go back to your Friday afternoon. Thanks again for joining me. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know. Click that shop button at the top and head over to my shop page to see all the great stuff that we have. And we look forward to seeing you again here next Friday. So take care. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.